What's up, everybody, and welcome to the video. I'm back with some more UFC, and it's exciting. Yes, the notorious one, Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is 19-10, 6 fights of the night, 1 knockout of the night, 5 submissions of the night. From Stockton, California, fights out of Stockton, California. He's great at boxing, awesome jiu-jitsu, has heart, endurance, stamina, quickness, speed, agility. His striking is amazing. His grappling skill is stupendous. He's one of the most amazing fighters I've ever seen that has ever stepped in the cage. He is the master of the steel cage. His arm reach is 76. Leg reach is 38. He's 6 feet tall. He just defeated Michael Johnson at UFC Fight Night on December 19th. Totally schooled Johnson, as you all remember. Very good fighter. Very good fighter. Based on his UFC stats, he's attempted 2,470 strikes. Successfully landed 1,068. 43% of his strikes he's landed, which is awesome because he throws a lot. Out of those strikes, he's landed 761 while standing. That's good. You know, the rest were either in the clinch or on the ground. So 761 of them were while standing. That's pretty great. 71% for that. Total takedowns he's attempted is 65. He's made 20. So 31% for that. And he's good. Usually when he takes you down, you're going out. So even though the stats are not as high as they look, it means that every time he's taken that person down, they've usually submitted, or most of the time have fell to submission. Total percentage of strikes avoided 57%. So basically, he's hard to hit. He moves and he uses his range to the best of his ability. 44% of takedowns have been avoided by Nate Diaz. Good and awesome stats for Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a guy who's a ranked black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Cesar Gracie, which we all know is a very dangerous trainer. Diaz has 4 knockouts, 11 submissions, 3 decisions. For real, this guy has put a big mark in the UFC since the day he stepped into the cage. Nate Diaz and the Diaz family have kept the UFC alive with their mega fights. UFC 196 is supposed to have been Dos Anjos and McGregor. However, Dos Anjos pulls out with an injury and Nate Diaz steps in once again to save the UFC. He has a short time to prepare. However, with Jake Shields in his corner, he definitely will be going for the takedown. These are some of the things that Nate Diaz is going to have to do to defeat Conor McGregor. In many ways, this fight is very dangerous for McGregor with Nate Diaz as an opponent. When Nate Diaz says he doesn't give a fuck, I honestly do truly believe that the man doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care about the hype. He doesn't care if you're good at standing. He doesn't care if you want to go on the ground. He doesn't care about anything. Nate Diaz tried to, wrestle with Roy McDonald and try to take him down and try to fight them. You know what I'm saying? He was really trying to take Roy McDonald down, wrestling with him. Nate Diaz needs to go for the takedown, pass the guard, and start working for submissions. Maintain strikes until submissions are available. Diaz is a very dangerous opponent for Conor McGregor. As we all know, the blueprint is actually already there to defeat Conor McGregor. He has been defeated by Sitenkov by submission via knee bar, and also by Joseph Duffy submission via arm triangle choke. Submissions is his weakness. So the blueprint is there, and Nate Diaz has the skills to effectively complete that mission. If you notice, Conor McGregor has been able to bypass opponents and fight opponents on short notice, while he already has you on his radar envisioning his victory, and you're unable to envision yours. And it would have to be a master at mixed martial arts who's very good at jiu-jitsu and judo to defeat Conor McGregor, who needs no preparation to fight Conor McGregor, who was ready to go like Nate Diaz, who needs no preparation for any opponent. Some keys to victory here. Nate Diaz is taller than Conor McGregor. His reach is longer. His reach is 76. McGregor's is 74. His height is 6 feet. McGregor is 5'9". Diaz is a southpaw, also holding the reach advantage, which is something that McGregor has not have to deal with lately. McGregor will have to be forced to make an adjustment to Nate Diaz's reach. McGregor has good movement and timing. However, so does Nate Diaz. As he did against Takanori Gomi, Diaz controlled the lead hand, did a lot of feinting, took over the pace of the fight with his reach and his movement. He was baiting Gomi, setting traps, smoke screens, flash stepping, good movement, just setting traps all over the cage. That's what he did to Gomi. Nate needs to use the same type of upper body movement he used against Gomi. And that shows you how good he is. He was able to set Gomi up. He kept breaking Gomi down. You also seen great upper body movement from Nate Diaz against Michael Johnson. I've seen Nate Diaz cross his arms and slap people. So this is going to be a good fight. Both these guys have awesome body movement. And I believe that's going to be one of the key factors for Nate Diaz is great upper body movement so that, to confuse Conor. Diaz needs to also continue with the style that he already has. He walks forward. He likes to manipulate his opponent's lead hands so that they can't block a parry. And he slaps them with the left or the right. Or he'll push the lead hand away and come back with a right hook. Also, he'll follow up with combinations with good strikes. However, once he does this, he'll lean way back to avoid the counter. And this kind of hurts him, or especially against a guy who kicks. And Conor McGregor likes to kick. So he has to switch that up because that's what Conor McGregor means by repetitive. That's where Conor McGregor is going to try to kick you there and on your lead leg and try to hurt you. So you have to avoid that. Nate must also be aware that when McGregor gives up the center of the cage, that he's just setting a trap for the counter. So if he's going to come in, because we all know Nate Diaz is going to move forward, if Nate Diaz is moving forward, you need to remember in your mind that you're moving forward towards a submission because he's going to try to counter you. And when he tries to counter you, you need to be ready for that because that's what he's doing. He wants you to give you the center so he can counter you. Diaz likes to overextend his punches. And when he does, this is when Conor McGregor is going to counter. So what you got to do is you got to counter a counter. Okay, this is a little bit of Jeet Kune Do when you counter a counter. So you have to set up McGregor for that because that's what he's looking forward to. That's what he's looking for when you lead in with your punch, with your strike, which we watch all the time. You overextend, which is part of your style. And Conor McGregor sees that as a weakness in your style. Okay, so that's what he means by repetitive. So be aware of that, Nate Diaz. So Diaz must make this adjustment and use a little bit of attack by drawing. So you attack to draw in the counter. And then when the counter comes in, you attack. You understand what I'm saying? Which is a great technique. A well-practiced 1-2 combination will be very effective to take out Conor McGregor. But don't overextend, please. Good head movement. Practice your neck exercises. Maintain good head movement throughout the fight so he doesn't land his counter strike. Nate has 11 wins by submission, so he can use his strikes to set up the submission finish. The notorious one, Conor McGregor, is an amazing, awesome fighter. He's the featherweight king. He has 5 performances of the night, 1 knockout of the night. He's 19-2. He has a humongous faith and belief in his skills and ability, and that's his aura is more powerful than anything we've ever seen in UFC. His presence is more powerful than anything you've ever seen. Conor McGregor reminds me of some of those characters in cartoons that when they walk by, everybody shakes. They say his Kenki, his chi is so powerful. His Kai, that's just the way I can explain Conor McGregor's presence. His aura is more intimidating. It is notorious, to the world. McGregor is from Dublin, Ireland. He's 5'9", 170 pounds now, 74 reach, 40 leg reach, and he's an excellent striker. He has one of the best stand-up games we've ever seen in UFC history. He's awesome at takedowns. 80% of his game is striking. You rarely see him go for a takedown. He has big knockouts on his record, humongous knockouts. He's attempted 483 strikes, successfully landed 216. Okay, that's all he ever had to land, the way he knocks people out. Grapples, he's attempted 6, successfully made 5. He has an 83%. So 83% for the grappling, 45% for the striking. Out of 216 strikes, he's landed 162 while standing. 75% out of the 216 were while standing. So 75% rating for him there. 64% of strikes avoided. It's pretty good. McGregor has good defense while standing up, and 67% of takedowns avoided. And he has good defense while being on the ground. McGregor is knocking people out for fun. Yes, he is. He's on a humongous winning streak, and he's been on one for almost 6 years now. So we have definitely 5 years. McGregor's been on the winning streak. He's been knocking people out in either the first or second round. Only Holloway was able to take him to a decision out of in his winning streak. So out of all the fighters in his winning streak, Holloway is the one who took him to decision. And Conor McGregor showed that he has good ground game when good ground game, and also that he could submit when he submitted Dave Hill by rear naked choke. McGregor is a guy that TKO'd Aldo, who was undefeated for 10 years. TKO Chad Mendes. The power is definitely present with McGregor. McGregor is a guy that he can counter anything. He can counter anything. If he gives up the center of the ring, or if he's in the center, he's more dangerous in the center than anybody can imagine. Okay, the key things that Conor McGregor needs to do to defeat Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is automatically flawed. For sure. He overextends his punches. This gives an absolute so many openings for Conor McGregor to counter with kick strikes and elbow strikes, punches. Oh man, there's a lot of opening because of Conor McGregor's speed and power that gives Nate Diaz a lot of faults in this fight. So Nate needs to not overextend when he's attacking Conor. Conor knows probably Nate's going to be prepared for that, and what Conor McGregor needs to do is to, whenever he makes that mistake, because it's naturally flawed. Doesn't matter how many times Nate Diaz tries to change it, he's naturally flawed like that. He's going to make that mistake. That's one thing. When Nate Diaz tries to escape after landing combinations when Conor McGregor is on the attack, kick that league leg, kick in that inner thigh kick into that league leg. As long as McGregor makes that kick into that lead leg, knocks Nate Diaz off balance, is going to be victorious. Now, let's get down to the prediction. It's simple. Nate Diaz has fought anyone and everyone. Conor McGregor has fought some of the best. Nate Diaz's style will counter McGregor's style. Styles make fights. They're both mixed martial artists. However, Nate Diaz is able to use his striking as defense and offense and finish people with his jiu-jitsu. And this will go 5 rounds. And I see it in the 5th round that Nate Diaz will defeat Conor McGregor by armbar. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, what do you think about my predictions? Do you believe Nate Diaz will defeat Conor McGregor by armbar? Or will Conor McGregor knock out Nate Diaz? Until next time, like, comment, share, and subscribe.